Offenders Act for misdemeanors. I believe this is her first arrest, Judge. Also, secondly, we're asking that she be allowed to plead nolo contenderary in this case, Judge, if you feel that she does qualify. And we then ask the court to accept the plea as negotiated, Your Honor.
Mr. Stevens?
Yes, Your Honor. And feel free to tell me what time you would like to hear from the victim.
Okay, let's address the issues that are on the floor at the present time. First offender and nolo.
Yes, sir, and Your Honor. And the reason for the victim impact statement was related to the first offender. So in regards to whether or not to take a guilty or nolo and the first offender, the state's going to object to that. Yes, she is eligible for both. We don't disagree with that. However, as you saw in both the Family Violence Protective Order, as you saw in the letter that's already been admitted into evidence, the defendant has a history of being the one who lashes out in anger and in violence and causing harm, and then apologizing for it. And then after apologizing for it, either doing it again or then claiming that Mr. Williams is actually the one who did those things. So she has a history of admitting to something and then immediately taking back any and all responsibility that she's given. In regards to the first offender, this is a case of battery family violence. It's, as you, Honor, has seen, there is a tumultuous relationship between the two. If she is found under first offender and she completes her first offender conditions, her case would no longer be considered conviction, and if she was be arrested again for battery family violence, either against someone else or against Mr. Williams, it would not be considered a felony. We would ask that Your Honor not allow her to do first offender for that reason, because she has a history of taking accountability just on paper and not actually in person. And then that if more situations were to occur between the two, it's not going to be another misdemeanor, another maybe 12 months that could be resolved, or she just takes accountability, doesn't serve any jail time again. It would be serious consequences that she faces, and she knows that she would face those if she violates her probation, not that she knows she'd get away with it as long as she's good for 1 year. So for that reason, we would reject or asking you would reject the request for first offender and for nolo.
Do you have a history?
For criminal history, Your Honor?
Yes.
Yes, Your Honor, this is her first arrest.
Okay. And what will be the other terms?
Your Honor, the terms
So that I know before I make my decision.
yes, Your Honor. The terms are for Ms. White to plead guilty to battery family violence. The state is going to null pros the simple battery family violence. We ask that she does 12 months probation, have 30 days to serve, credit for time served 3 days. Those 30 days of jail time suspended upon completion of an FFIP, 12 hours of anger management, to have no further contact with Mr. Williams except specifically for the care and transfer of their children, and to have no posts on social media concerning Mr. Williams or concerning this matter, as she continues to bother both Mr. Williams and post on social media about this matter and accusing Mr. Williams as being an abuser, both to him and online.
So your request is that she did family violence intervention and 12 hours of anger management?
Yes, Your Honor.
Addressing the NOLO and the first offender, Ms. Helen.
Yes, Judge. So this is her first arrest, Judge. I do hear the state's rendition of her history, but her criminal history, this is her first arrest. No allegations against her filed by any police department for any additional charges. She will not have any other family violence charges, especially against Mr. Williams, because we've already spoken about what happens if she makes any contact or any reference to Mr. Williams or this case. Online, especially, Judge. So from this moment on, there will be no other contact with Mr. Williams. But I do have a question. I have emailed a civil action file. They do have 2 children together. In the civil action, it does state that they're supposed to have some type of communication with the children. That would be the only communication that they would have, Judge. But from the criminal case, Judge, there is no external contact with Mr. Williams about this case, about their relationship or past relationship. So we ask that she be able to use the first offenders as well as their NOLO contenderary plea for this case.
what are the custody arrangements for the children?
We do 2 weeks on, 2 weeks off. They were supposed to come this week, but because they're in Texas, but he didn't bring them this week. And we do FaceTimes on Tuesdays and Thursdays at 6:30 p.m. Central Standard Time with him, 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time with me.
To discuss the children and anything that they need, Your Honor. So
Mhm.
there is present communication between them, but only in regard to the children.
We FaceTime and it's just me talking to the kids, vice versa.
And Your Honor, if I may, at this point, if you would hear it, I would like for the victim to be able to make the impact statement about their relationship and the communication that has occurred online and in person, about this case, that even though she was like in the civil order, as well as the no further contact, how he still continues harassment to this day, or has experienced it during this time between when she was arrested and told not to have further contact, and now, if Your Honor would hear it before making a decision.
I will hear from him, but in just a moment.
Yes, Your Honor.
Ms. Helen, as far as the children go, I mean, 2 weeks on, 2 weeks off, communication. And I'm gonna have them have no further contact.
I hear it, Judge, and
Okay?
so does Ms. White.
So no contact
We
about
do
the
hear you.
children, about anything whatsoever. They're gonna have to have a third party. Both of them will have to have a third party intervene. So when you're having those conversations with the children, a third party is gonna have to arrange that, okay? Where there's any other contact, I don't want you all speaking whatsoever for this time period.
If I may ask a question, for example, because he lives with his boyfriend, so would that be me FaceTiming his boyfriend's phone instead? Or no talking to the kids during those 2 weeks at all?
I don't know how you all are gonna arrange it, but you're not to have any contact with one another whatsoever.
Okay.
We do
Okay.
understand that,
No
Judge.
contact means
Mhm.
absolutely no contact. No contact means no phone contact, obviously no personal
Mhm.
contact, no internet contact, no social media contact, no Twitter, no Facebook, no any of that.
Mhm.
No
Okay,
letters.
right? So if, I know you all you don't have to deal with each other. I know you have to deal with your children. They're gonna have to be third parties to deal with your children. For
Okay.
drop off, for pickup, for phone conversations, however that's arranged, as long as it's not a contentious arrangement, and as long as it's not between the two of you. So
Okay.
whether it's, I don't know your family dynamics, his mother, your mother, whomever it is, but it's not to be the two of you.
Okay, gotcha.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yes.
Okay, so just so that there can be no ambiguity
Yeah.
or no,
Mhm.
oh, I only talked to her
Yeah.
to discuss the children. No,
Mhm.
you're not to be doing that.
That's understandable.
Okay, at least during the course of this probation.
Okay.
Okay,
Understood, Judge.
all right, so let me hear from you now, sir.
Would you like him to come up here, Your Honor?
No, he should have him come to this. Yes, Mr. Williams, you were sworn in earlier, you're still under oath. What would you like to tell the court?
I would just like to tell the court that every order that has been put in place, Ariana has, I've had to file a motion of contempt because she's violated each and every order that they've ordered. I just want to tell the court that the things that this woman has been stating has just been false. When we meet up to exchange the kids, she immediately goes into this case and the lies. Her and her family, they know, they witnessed their daughter, niece, cousin, all of that, abuse me, chase me, pregnant and not pregnant. And for her to sit up and her family to come to this court and just lie as if the last 3 years, 4 years of what I endured was just for nothing. I went through hell all the time. And all I asked was just some kind of accountability. I'm not here to show up or just to act any way. I'm just here to defend myself because for 4 years I've been quiet. The only people I've contacted were her mom, her dad, her friends, her family, the preacher, the pastors, her church friends. I contacted the people that I thought could help her. Never called the police to put her in any harm because we had kids. I never wanted to separate the dynamic, create a strain in the relationship or nothing. But I've had to endure all this pain because I'm trying to keep it cool for the kids. Her family, they know. I've told them, they all know. She knows. But for whatever reason, all of these stipulations that have to be put in place is because she can't take accountability. That's the only reason. We should be cordial. We should be taking care of the kids. It shouldn't have been taken to this level. I told her years ago, if you don't stop putting your hands on me, one day the police are gonna get involved and you will get arrested. That wasn't a threat. That was me letting her know. There's somebody that will see this and will report this and that you will have to answer for it. And even though that day has come, she still has nothing for it. Everything that she testified was made up, just fabricated. All I want to do is raise up these boys. I can't change who their mother is. I can't change what family they came from. But at the end of the day, respect the boundaries. We don't have to be anything. But at the end of the day, put all of that aside. Focus on Ezra. Focus on Arrow. Don't worry about Derek. Don't worry about Derek's boyfriend. Don't worry about Derek's mom. Don't worry about anything. And the family should hold their kid accountable because it shouldn't have gotten this far. Even though this was the first time that she was arrested, the reason why she wasn't arrested before was because she was pregnant. DeKalb County didn't want to arrest her because she was 9 months pregnant. 6 days later, after I went to the police, she went into labor. That was the only reason why she wasn't in prison, in jail. But she has done many things to wind up in so close to being arrested. But because she was a mother, because she was pregnant, they slapped her on the wrist and everything went on. And I had to continue to take the next abuse, take the next insult, take the next fight from her, threats from her family. It's all continued to this day. It doesn't matter what we talk about. We talk about something in private. Let's work together for the kids. All of a sudden, it's a whole new thing. I can't continue to go on this merry-go-round, this carousel with her and her family, when all I'm trying to do is to stop what happened between our parents with this generation. I just want my sons to have a better dynamic than what we went through growing up. We don't have the best relationship with our moms and our dads. None of us do. But I tried to put, even though we were separated, I tried to have a great relationship so that they can still see mommy and daddy together. Let's celebrate their birthdays together. Let's do something. But within a blink of an eye, she turns to somebody else and then tells all of y'all that I'm the monster, that I'm the abuser. It's not fair. All I'm asking is that she does not get a slap on the wrist this time. She's not pregnant. Even though she's a mother, even though she's my wife, she was wrong for everything that she did. And she has admitted that I did not reciprocate. In that 11-page letter, I did not reciprocate. But she sat up here and lied to this court and to another court that I'm abusing her. That's not the case. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Mr. Williams. Anything?
Yes, Judge, I want to thank Mr. Williams for that victim impact statement. I really do. Because I think that goes to exactly what Your Honor has ruled. There is and will be no other contact between those two parties. It'll be third party, completely different people about regards to the children. She will have no other contact with Mr. Williams.
The court is limited in what this is a misdemeanor offense. Mr. Williams, the court's limited in what it can do. What I will say is that I will accept the recommendation of the state working this out with Ms. Helen and Ms. White. But at the same time, Ms. Helen and Ms. White, just to make sure that there are an additional incentive for this not to happen again. I will accept a guilty plea and I will not accept the first offender because I believe that taking responsibility is important. I believe that also having something on your record so that you have something on your record, and if it ever happens again, then that is, and I'm sure that Ms. has explained to you what a second domestic violence conviction would be. I will accept a guilty plea. I will accept the terms of what you all have worked out, if you want to go forward with the plea.
But you will not accept first offenders?
I will only accept the guilty plea, and without the first offender, I will allow her to use her first offender if something more difficult occurs for her in the future.
Understood,
So she
Judge.
will still have that available to her if something more egregious happens. But given these circumstances and this particular case, I think that the court would feel better. I think that the victim would feel better if there is an accountability taken, and if that accountability goes further than just this 1 year period. And I agree. So I'm happy to accept the guilty plea with that stipulation.
Understood, Judge.
Okay.
And I would ask for non-reporting if the court is amenable after she completes all the conditions.
I think that in this particular case that she should report for the entire 12 months. And that's because as I said before, y'all are grown folk, but you have two little boys, as Mr. Williams has said, that y'all are responsible for looking out for, and if not for, if only for those two little boys, you all should really consider that above anything else, above your own well-being.
Yeah.
Because, you brought those two little boys into this world. You have the responsibility of not only taking care of them,
Mm-hmm.
but of giving them a good example so that they can go into the world, with the best tools possible, so they can have a successful life.
Yeah.
That's your responsibility. And just the two of you. So however you all, when this is worked out down the road and you're no longer under these restrictions, that should be first and foremost, those two and what you're modeling for them.
Absolutely.
So, so with that said, if nothing further, would you like to go ahead and take the plea?
You do, Judge.
Anything further?
No, Your Honor, for continuing, I would just ask, does the defense stipulate to the factual basis, identity, and venue for the purposes of this plea?
Yes, Judge, we do so stipulate, and we ask the court to accept the plea as negotiated.
Ms. White, it's my understanding that in case 21 CR 008025F, you wish to plead guilty to battery family violence. Is that correct?
Yes.
Are you under the influence of any drugs or alcohol this afternoon?
No.
You've been represented by counsel. Are you satisfied with her representation?
Yes.
You understand that you have a right to a trial by jury on this charge, and that by pleading guilty to it, you're giving up your right to a trial by jury?
Yes.
Has anyone forced or coerced you to plead guilty?
No.
I will accept the plea as negotiated. 12 months to serve 30 days, credit for time served 3 days. The balance of the jail time is suspended upon the completion of a family violence intervention program, 12 hours of anger management, no further contact with Mr. Williams. No post on social media about Mr. Williams or about this matter. As I said before, it's the court's intention that you're not to even have contact in regards to your children at the present time. You have to have third party to intervene on your behalf. So for transportation, for anything that has to do with the children, there'll be only third party contact. You understand that, Mr. Williams? That's I can't impose anything on you, but you can't even contact her because she would be in violation if you even contacted her for any reason regarding these children. So I would say to you, don't do that. You know, let her be successful in completing this probationary period. You'll be on probation for the entire 12 months. And if I have not reiterated it enough, if there is a violation, and I do not expect there to be a violation, okay? You present yourself very well. I know that you understand what I'm saying. You know, I'm also doing this for your benefit so that you can go ahead and move forward with your life.
Yeah,
okay?
definitely.
But if there is a violation, then you have to know that if there's a violation within this time, Mr. Stevens is going to come back to me, and I will have you serve this time in custody. I don't want to have to do that. Okay, that is not something that the court would want to do, but that's something that the court would do. Because I'm having a conversation with you now, and quite honestly, more of a conversation than I would have with most defendants, because I want you to be successful in doing this. I want you to be successful in moving your family forward and getting on the right track.
Yes,
okay?
thank you.
All right. Anything further?
Nothing from the defense, Judge.
Okay, we would ask, I believe that you should have already gotten where to report to probation. I'll ask that you do that within the next 2 weeks or so, okay?
Can you say that one more time? Sorry.
I believe you should already know where to go to probation. We should have given you that form. Did we do that?
Copy
Ms.
of that
Hammer?
form, I'll give it.
Okay, so I just ask that you report to probation within the next 2 weeks. or so.
Okay.
Any other questions for me?
No, Judge, not from the defense.
Okay, let me just say from the court's perspective, it's been a long morning. I'm glad that you are all able to come together while everybody's here and work this out. I appreciate you doing that. I appreciate you taking responsibility. And as you go forward, I wish you all the best of luck. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you, Judge.
Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Is Ms. White excused?
Yes, have a good rest of
Thank
your
you.
day. And with that, I believe that completes the 9 o'clock calendar. As such, we have anything else that we need to do today?
No, Your Honor.
Okay, I will see you all next time. I appreciate it.
Did you want to read the calendar? Do they need?
I think that, I don't think we
They
have
got
enough
it.
on the calendar to go over things.